Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Genuine Chit-Chat. This week, I'm joined by Josh and Rhys for another video gaming chat. Now, if you're a regular listener, you'll know that a few months ago, I think it was, Rhys and Josh came on, Josh being the gentleman with me on Science But Simple. Rhys has shown up on numerous podcasts, but the one a few months back, we basically spoke about, we kind of started talking about nostalgia and the kind of games we liked, and then it slowly morphed into what we hated about the gaming industry, and then kind of became this big thing of us talking about what we don't like about microtransactions, and a lot of the new things that have come about with recent gaming and the modern gaming industry. So what we thought is we'd get back together and we try and focus more so on the positives of gaming, and end up becoming more of a chat about nostalgia. So like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games, original Xbox games, GameCube as well, that sort of era between sort of the mid-90s and the mid-2000s rather. Well, you'd have to assume it was the mid-2000s because the mid-1000s didn't have video games well, to my knowledge. Who knows? I'm joking, obviously. 1,000 years ago, they didn't have electricity and stuff. Anyway, I'm rambling. So yeah, for anyone who's interested in just video games or likes feeling nostalgic about video games and stuff, this is a great podcast for you. We talk about Spyro and Crash Bandicoot, Rayman, Pokémon, Jak and Daxter, those sort of things, as well as, the N64 and that sort of jazz. Rhys does talk about Dark Souls for a bit as well, which is quite cool. I know that's not necessarily nostalgic. Well, I assume not for any of you, because it's not even that old. But that did come into it because we were talking about sort of games being challenging and getting stuck and that sort of thing. A couple of quick things regarding this one. There is an annoying clicking noise at one point. I think it's around the 15-minute mark. I do apologise. It pops up every now and then. I'm trying out new recording software and a few different things here and there, so it's completely my fault. Hands up for that. Sorry. Hopefully it doesn't ruin the experience for you. I also had a cold while recording this. I still have a bit of one, a bit nasally. So if my voice sounds a bit weird, I do apologise for that. I think I sneezed off mic once or twice, but I seem to think that I did listen back to it, but I think there is a point where you can hear it a little bit. So once again, I do apologise for that. And then also about halfway through the chat, Josh has to go. He has to go off and do something else. So he leaves and it's just me and Rhys. The general audio quality, it does improve at that point because the first few minutes of this, Josh is a little bit away from the mic. There's a few other things. It's not Josh's fault, it's my fault. Obviously, it's my show. I'm meant to be sort of keeping an eye on these sort of things. But basically, Rhys and Josh, they're just a little bit too far from the mics and things. So it does sound a little bit off. It does get a lot better after the first minute or two. And then after, halfway through when it's just Rhys, it is a lot better. So if you're a new listener, hello. I'm sorry about your hearing all this preamble before the show. And I do apologise. The audio quality is not up to the usual standard that it is. So sorry about that. Anyway, the chat is really good, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. Before the chat gets started, there's going to be a promo for the Piecing It Together podcast, which I've had the promo of theirs before. Great show, go check them out. Link to their show and stuff is in the description, that sort of jazz. As always, guys, I'm going to be back at the end of the podcast to talk about the upcoming releases and the usual sort of tomfoolery. Like, subscribe, follow, whatever on social media, podcast apps, all that jazz. I appreciate iTunes links. I appreciate people sharing the show. And most of all, I appreciate you guys enjoying the show. So that's the main goal. Hopefully this small amount of audio discrepancies don't cause too much of an issue for you guys. Apologies once again if they do. And that's about it for me. So yeah, I'll be back at the end and I hope you guys enjoy.
Was A Quiet Place inspired by Signs It Comes at Night and War for the Planet of the Apes? Was Ready Player One influenced by Avatar, Wreck-It Ralph, and The Last Starfighter? Is A Hurricane Heist more influenced by Sharknado or Geostorm? These are the kinds of questions my guest co-hosts and I discuss on my podcast, Piecing It Together. Every week we look at a new movie and try to figure out what other movies inspired it. Whether it's the story, the character development, tone, or even use of music. Every movie was influenced by something that came before it, and we want to figure out what. Check out Piecing It Together on your favorite podcast app or check us out on piecingpod.com. You can also follow us on social media at piecingpod. Piecing It Together is a part of the All Points West podcast network.
Welcome to Genuine Chit-Chat, where we have honest conversations with interesting people. And I'm your host, Mike Burton. We just decided to get on a podcast and talk about games for a bit. So here we are. We're talking about games from quite a while ago. Like, we were talking about PS2 games, actually. And how many years ago was that? Was the PS2 released? You looked it up.
March something, 2000.
2000.
Yeah.
So it's now getting to 19 years ago.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's fucked up.
Mm.
It makes me highly uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's. I keep thinking of it as like it's like a decade ago. That's just kind of how I felt about the PS2 for like the last decade, and it's getting to now 2 decades. So, oh yeah, we're on that the fourth console now.
It's going to be its 20th anniversary next year.
I think they're going to. There's quite a lot of rumors that there's going to be more consoles announced in 2020.
It seems to be in this kind of iteration thing at the moment. You know, I mean, when did this generation come out?
Yeah. I don't
Like
know.
2010, 2011? Here we are.
No. The Xbox One would have been later than that.
Yeah.
The PS4 was before the Xbox One, but the Xbox One came out kind of at the same time. I think the PS4 Pro became a thing.
I think exactly. I think it was close.
so.
I think it's pretty close.
I don't think so.
Where the Xbox One release date was the 22nd of November 2013.
Really?
Now, so 2013, yeah, and the PS4. So it's been 4 years. PS4 was 15th of November.
2019 or
It was
17.
the 15th. No, because November and we're in February, so it's closer to.
Right, so 5 years then.
What did I say?
3.
Whoa.
Whatever. Okay,
It was an amount of time ago.
yeah, 5 years ago. Okay, so yeah, that's 15th. So they're like a week apart, like just over a week.
Right.
Anyway, so PS2 games. We were talking about. There's quite a few of them that we absolutely love. There's not a lot to say about them at the moment because it's not the longest podcast in the world. But like a lot of honourable mentions I've thought about, like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. Did you guys ever play that?
No.
Okay, you're both
They
disappointed.
brought it out as a remaster on Steam recently.
Oh, really?
Sort of a year ago, I think.
It's like a Naughty Dog sort of game.
The fun fact here is that you two are on one boat and I'm on another. Because, as you both probably aware, I never owned a PS2.
Yeah.
I had the original Xbox, but I didn't own a PS2.
Yeah, that was just a jumping off point. Like, you can talk about any game that you want
How's it
before
feel
that.
to be a psychopath?
It doesn't. Which I believe is the point.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
There's why he did it. That's why he just decided to be a psychopath. Just flick that switch. Yeah, so what kind of... what was your guys' favourite consoles? Like, going on that sort of...
PC!
Was like the best memories of? Was it PS1, PS2, GameCube?
Oh, yeah.
See, mine was either PS2 or GameCube. What about you, Josh?
I'm torn, but I'd probably say it's more in terms of the games that I played that I have the most fond memories of is probably the PS1.
Okay, yeah.
To be fair, it's actually probably the 360, but that's too late for this discussion.
Yeah.
I thought about that and thought, well, I could say that, but
360 is my favourite.
I still think I feel more for the PS1 games.
Fair enough.
I did love PS1, but I got that when I was like 8, I think.
Do you remember Medieval?
No.
I played a demo of that game.
I played a demo of that game. I never played the actual full game.
Oh, the
I always
Fox-
wanted it, and I know I never got it.
Yeah, the Fox game with the sword, Knightly or something.
Holy shit! I had that as a demo as well, actually.
Yeah, that I had a demo.
Demos, like
Yeah.
Spyro's fucking
PS1 magazines, PlayStation magazines.
Oh, they're so good.
They were great, and you just play like loads of demos, and you just be like, "This game is amazing," and then you just never get it because you're a child and you can't just get stuff whenever you want. Like with an adult, you can put yourself in financial jeopardy, but if like a game comes out that you want, it's just like I'm probably just going to get it. Like usually, you don't really have to worry about it that much if you're careful with your money. You can I can spare X amount of money. But back in the days where you got a game and your parents like got it for you when you were out in like town or whatever, and they're like, "Can we go back and play it?" It's like, no, we have to do all our shopping and all this sort of stuff. And I'm sat here reading the Croc Legend of the Gobbos instruction booklet that's very thin.
Yes.
That game was fucking
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah, all those sort of platformer games like that, and obviously Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, all those sort of games like that. They're all
Like that.
games like that.
I hold
I know what you mean.
a close affinity to Spyro. Especially with the new remasters as well, they've been so good, like massive nostalgia.
It's like 3D platformers where you play some sort of mythical or cute creature.
You guys are wearing matching sweaters. I only just noticed. I only literally just noticed. Like yours are a little bit more staticky and his are a bit more lined. That's it.
Indeed.
Except you're wearing jogging bombs and he's wearing jeans. Whereas my... Okay, sorry. For people listening are like, what? Why does he care? I was like, why didn't you notice that earlier? Sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah, anyway, sorry. Sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Spyro.
Yes.
The remasters. Rhys, did you play the remasters?
Yes, I have them.
Okay.
Completed them all.
I binged that stuff and went like balls to the wall with
Balls to the wall.
Balls to the wall. That sounds like you watched a lot of internet, like Rule 34.
Yeah, like 120% the first one, 100% the second one, 117% I think it is the third one.
So you basically beyond 100% all of it.
It's basically you complete it and then there's like the bonus after levels, so the post game essentially. And it's just a case of I never played the first one before the remaster, and it definitely has aged, but I think it still holds a certain amount of decency in the gameplay. It's just back when games were. It sounds really like bad to say, but I mean it in any bad way. But back when games were simpler,
Yeah.
and when it was like one of the massive things that these sort of remaster games with the Crash ones and the Spyro ones show is that you can make an enclosed, finite, single player experience that's not a 60. They're made from the ground up. They're not like just an HD remake or something, or an HD reskin or something. They are rebuilt from the ground up. And they are like, what, £40-45? No, not even that. There's
30 quid.
30,
Yeah, Crash Bandicoot was 30
it's
quid.
not even right up there in like $60 AAA.
It's like 10 quid a game.
And in 3 games.
Yeah, 10 quid a game. It's like, that is, I'm very happy with that.
You can make enclosed, single player, finite experiences for a relatively low cost. And sell them for relatively cheap compared to, quite frankly, games that have less content and require you to keep putting money in for DLC and online services and this, that, and the other. And it's just there. And it's like, well, why is this not still the business model? Mm. But anyway, that's beside the point of this one. This is the positive stuff. But yeah, I think the thing I have for Spyro is that a lot of the platformy, jumpy, glidey, or what sorts of games, just the platform, 3D platformers, they always felt to some degree clunky.
Yes.
And I feel that Spyro was a lot smoother. And it also felt, a lot of those games also felt like collectathons. Where Spyro has those elements, but it has enough diversity to not feel like that.
Mm.
I feel like it feels more like an open world game because you have with the gliding thing is a good point. Like Rayman does have those sorts of mechanics in it as well, and I do love Rayman, especially the 3D ones. But like the glide, the open world, like I love Crash Bandicoot, but it is incredibly linear. You know, it's a very linear game. Whereas Spyro is a lot more, because I think you have the more open world hubs, don't you?
Yeah, you had a hub
like a proper full on actual hub world where you've got like things to do around the hub world, like mini missions and stuff.
Enemies, collectibles, everything.
And you can run. It was fast.
Yeah.
It's a very fast game for its time that you had that sort of control on, because like Crash is very like a jogging pace, if that. Croc, or Legend of the Gobbos and stuff, I remember being like running. Gex, lots of jogging pace.
Yes.
They're all, when I say Croc, I meant jogging as well. They're all quite sort of slowish characters that are like anthropomorphic creatures in some way. But Spyro was, I agree, a lot more. Well, I liked the collecting elements of it, but as you said, they just seemed like a lot more to do.
Yeah, I think the fluidness comes from the animation when you charge.
I like that.
Yeah,
it's just great.
Yeah, I just charge all the time, and you like jump over the loads of little platforms, and you can just do it really quick.
I think the other thing with that is it shows what can be done to create 3 entirely. They are, despite how similar they look, because they are made in the same engine with a lot of the same assets and all that sort of things, with a few changes and whatnot. All 3 games share the same in terms of sound fonts and the thematic and just the general look. But that is 3 unique experiences that were made in the space of about 4 years.
Yeah.
Like, Spyro 3 literally came out a year after Spyro 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking hellfire. Spyro 2 and Spyro 3 were both amazing.
Yeah, they did. If we think about Crash were pretty much the same. It's probably because they didn't really change the engine much, did they? They just kind of they upgraded the graphics a lot more of it. They kind of found also when you make another game like on the same console, if you don't add too much, it's very much easier to go, okay, well this is how we did it when we made it before. We've got all this. Now we're going to spend the next year improving everything. And making it all better and run smoother and add a few things here and there and change obviously the ceramics, but keep the engine, but just add, because we've got more time now. We've got the main difficulty. When you make, like a lot of the time, sequels to games are often the better of the one. Not all the sequels, like you go to loads of them, but like when you get a game and then the second one, it's not uncommon for the second one to actually be better.
Dark Souls?
Or do you think the first one's better than the second one?
Oh, yeah.
The first one is better than the second one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but there's a lot.
Regardless, it's not made under the same lead developer, so there's reasons for the differences.
Yeah.
The general premise I think that we both agree on is that Dark Souls 2 tried to emulate what made Dark Souls 1 so popular.
Completely
missed the point. Yeah. It's still a good game in its own right, but I think it doesn't compare to the first one. It's kind of like the same situation that Devil May Cry 2 sits in.
It's the first game with just lots more gameplay. So they've just completely focused on the gameplay and not thought of anything like atmosphere or just anything else. It's just totally just like action fuck fast. So they just throw loads of mob enemies at you. But yeah.
So yeah, like Devil May Cry 2 syndrome.
Yeah, exactly. Devil May Cry 2 is the same as well. I fucking love Devil May Cry.
Are either of them published by the same? Are they both Capcom?
No.
What's Dark Souls?
From Software.
Okay, who are all the people that make Dark Souls?
From Software.
They're called From Software.
Is it literally the only people that make it? Like,
yeah,
it's the developer.
That's the
developer.
One developer, which usually is the case when making a game is one developer.
Yeah, but who are the other companies involved?
Or the publisher.
I don't know, probably.
Capcom?
Namco Bandai.
Namco.
That's what I knew. It was some sort of recognised publisher. I knew something. I recognised the name to do with it. That's why I thought it was Capcom at one. But did you guys ever play like the original Mega Man?
No.
I played it a little bit, but I wasn't that fan. I liked Zero.
Oh, I did once watch a video. I think actually we both watched it a long time ago. I think it was Ego Raptor. Did a video about Mega Man X, I think.
Yeah. There's two of them.
Sequelitis things.
Yeah, I love those things.
I'm not sure.
They're the best.
Whatever it was, there's a Mega Man that people love. I can't remember. It might be Mega Man X or Mega Man 2, or I don't fucking know, right? There's loads of them.
Yeah.
But it was one of them, and he was basically talking about why the first level is pure genius, and he was like breaking down every single design decision as he goes along the screen. And it was very interesting.
Yeah.
So that game's meant to be amazing, but yeah, it's probably aged pretty badly, I imagine.
Well, you just play them and they're quite simplistic, so they get.
Saying that? Yeah, simplistic games tend to age better.
That is true. That is very true, and it depends on the graphics. But the graphics of those games, like, I think if you played the third one, for example, like you get a lot more enjoyment than the first one because the difference. Because the first of a game series, especially in those days, is very different. Like you think about the first Gears of War game, you think that's fucking brilliant. You think about the first Mario game, you're like, this is great for its time, but I don't get the same feeling as when I play like a modern Mario 3D full-on like Odyssey, Galaxy, that sort of shit. Like, you play Super Mario Brothers and you're like, this is really good. And then you play Odyssey and you're like, this is like drugs, but like video game style. Like as in, I just feel amazing. Like I don't like, it just feels awesome to do. And like, with Mario Galaxy and things, it's just so much fun, and the colours and stuff.
But still,
the colours.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that game specifically, that's why I did the reference, because it's just like that sort of visual sort of stuff. But continue, Josh.
I still find like the general theme of this conversation is that the overall atmosphere and gameplay of the game does almost it for us at least it holds more bearing than just fidelity of graphics.
Oh yeah, atmosphere.
Yeah. Like, but going back to the Spyro point, is that those use exactly the same in terms of their graphic design and stuff. They might use small iterations and improvements here and there, but they use the same framework. They weren't massive graphical improvements on each other. Maybe they had a few more polygons or something, but it's literally a case of they just made those three experiences, and each one iterated on the previous one and added more. And that's what made them so good.
Yeah.
Is that it was this is good as it is. Let's not try and reinvent the wheel. Let's just try and add more spokes.
And that's what they did with Crash Bandicoot. And that's also what they did with one of my favourite games. And I know it's one of Rhys's favourite games, Jack 3. Hey, boy!
I've only ever played Jack and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy.
You are a heathen.
You are a heathen, he's correct. That game is something else.
Fine, I need to leave some.
Jack 3 is just...
glorious. You play, obviously, Jack and Daxter Precursor Legacy, Josh. Like, what do you like about that?
One of the things is just the general... The game has a lot of charm. The animation, one of the things I've actually watched certain things on there in terms of the animation of that game and the amount of
stretching.
The squash and the stretch make everything seem very fluid. Even the case of, I remember just sitting for times with Kieran, we were playing through it, starting a new game, and you can't skip character dialogue. If someone's talking to you, you can't skip it. All we would do was keep pausing and unpausing the game and seeing some ridiculous facial expression that would come out of them. And it was great. Stuff like that. But in general, the gameplay is solid in there. It can be a bit clunky and janky at times, but overall, it's just a well-structured game with a lot of charm. It again has that whole feeling of there's lots to do, but at the end of the day, it's still just a collectathon.
Yeah. It was actually, it's like we said earlier about those games where we play like a cute fluffy animal with like a 3D platformer collectathon. The first one was like that, and the second one went all serious, and then the third one was all like, by the time we got to the third one, there's guns and fucking...
The second one had guns. The second one you have 4 weapons, but the third one you have loads more.
There's it's like the little jet bike sort of thing. Yeah. To help you go over the lava. But it's just a case of it has in terms of the graphics and the way the game looks and feels to play, it just feels good to play. And the game itself, like in terms of the scripting and the storyline and everything that's going on, it has that charm. It injects a lot of humour in places that you think that doesn't fit, and it works because it's just so. Because the game is so shameless about trying to be like funny, it works. It's almost like fourth wall breaking. It's almost like a Disney movie. Yeah.
Especially Daxter. Like Daxter obviously does pretty much all most of the talking.
Daxter is the comedic value because everyone else is serious.
Yeah.
Daxter is the comedic value.
And Jack was the first one, yeah, he's silent in the first game.
Oh yeah, whereas in the second or third one he actually has a character. Yeah. Like you control like
they're just fucking.
You can choose to be like good or bad, sort of evil.
He gets his puberty and fucking grows a goatee and becomes super edgy.
Yeah, and he's like really like not. I can't remember his personality thinking about it that much.
Well, he's like sort of like a cool guy. Yeah.
I just remember the gameplay just being unbelievably amazing. Like, I think there was talks of them like remaking some of them. Or
Jack and Daxter has received the first one at least has had I don't know about the other ones that may have done. Have had essentially the HD re-release. It's just it's like an upscale, like a reskin fix in HD.
Whereas
so it's not like the Crash or the Spyro. It's just like the graphics are scaled up to work in HD form with like 1080p and all that sort of stuff. That's the only change.
That's Jack 3?
No, Jack 1.
I was about to say, yeah.
I don't know about
I've got Jack 3, yeah, I've got Jack 3 on PlayStation.
What is it on like a emulator?
They're definitely available on the PlayStation Network.
Yeah, you can download them. It's like 10 quid or something.
Oh, just like the original.
Yeah, just download Jack 3 and play Jack 3.
Oh yeah, because you played that for a few days straight, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I played it. Well, it wasn't a few days straight. I didn't actually play it that much. Tell you what, it's really depressing that it doesn't actually hold up very much. It's because it is one of those 3D platform things. But saying that, it doesn't get a pass on that because we just established the first one actually achieved it a lot better.
Yeah.
I don't know, actually saying that, I don't know. The movement is still...
Oh, you can get remastered ones on the PS3.
It just didn't know what it wanted.
The PS3 has remasters of 3 of them.
I think that's the case of one of the things of they started with something good and tried to iterate on it. And then I haven't played it, so I can't judge. But from what you're saying, it lost its direction. It tried to reinvent itself in slightly the wrong way, and lost its like how concise and the finesse.
Are you talking about the second or the third one?
Both, really, but particularly by the third one.
Well, I think it just evolved and grew as a game. It's like almost examples like Harry Potter.
Yeah, there's that thing. There's that video I saw going out about God of War. That guy's going on about the bad things about the new God of War game. It's like. It doesn't know what it wants to be. It's trying lots of things, and that's fine. And it can do it well, and it does do it well. And Jack 3 is one of my favourite games of all time. But if they're capable of making a game that good, if they were to make it concise Like, obviously it's not as good now, but at the time, obviously it's not as impressive either because it was early days, but the original Mario is so concise. It's literally like, you fucking go right and you jump and don't get hit and you get to the end. Like, that's all it is. Or Devil Daggers. You play Devil Daggers?
I've seen it, yeah.
It's like the most... It's literally like an arena. So it's a game that's on Steam. It's a first-person shooter, and you have no HUD, and you just shoot this wave-based thing in this creepy, like, 8-bit environment. 3D kind of first-person thing. And you just have to live as long as possible, and you just shoot. And there's a couple of extra things, like there's different types of enemies that come up. And you get, like, power-ups and stuff like that. But other than that, it's like you're in a small circle and that's it for the whole entire game. That's £15.
Is that on Steam? Is that the one with the world record, like it's all about the high scores and stuff?
That you get, like, how long you can live for, and it becomes absolutely insane when you see people hide things. But basically, that game is so unbelievably concise. It's so simple, but because it's so simple, they can focus on making that one particular aspect of the game that we like, which is, in that case, like running around and shooting lots of things. It's all like Doom. Running around fast, shooting things fast. It's honing in on that thing that we like and just making it the perfect version of that. And then just giving you only that, but it is the perfect thing of that.
Yeah.
So if you like that aspect of gaming, it's the perfect thing for that aspect, and that's what those games are
It's
made
like,
for.
if you've got, say, 100 things, I don't know, just make it like a monetary thing or something like that. You got 100 gold, let's go at 1,000 gold, and you have 10 pots that each do one thing, and you can put up to 500 gold in each one.
Right.
Do you put your money in all the pots and have 100 gold in each? Or do you sink your 1,000 gold into 2 pots in particular and invest heavily in those for 500 each?
Yeah. And that is what a lot of it is with genres, with almost any aspect of art, isn't it? Like music, with music is a bit more of a widespread thing, but like with games, they're starting to, as the technology progresses, you can have more in a game. Like
it's starting to spread things too thinly.
Yeah, to a degree.
I think,
particularly considering they have the short timescales in which like developers have been pushed in now.
I think what your point that you just said, Mike, about the fact that what is possible now compared to 10, 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, because of what was possible back then was much more limited, they did invest in these particular aspects of a game.
Yeah.
And that developed those and made them really good. But now a lot of things are spread too thinly. It creates it can create a sort of fragmented, inconsistent experience that can sometimes lead to a game just feeling off. Yeah. Some games, modern games, still do it very well. Like I would say that the new God of War does it very well. It doesn't put its fingers in too many pots. A lot of games recently try and do too much, often at the behest of the publishing companies that just want to say, how can we maximise our money out of it?
There are certain games that I've played, not in the last couple of years, but like the last 5-6 years, when I was into gaming a lot more. I mean, the kind of games we play, you go, this is alright the whole time, and like, you'd go through it, and there's quite a few on PS2 and things, where you'd play the first couple of levels, you go, this is an alright intro level, and then you go to the next bit, and it's now an unnecessary stealth level, which doesn't really fit the mechanics of the game, and it's just really clunky and boring, and it just ruins, like, it makes stealth games seem worse, and then it also means there's a portion of this game where, instead of enhancing the experience of that particular thing, it's sidetracked with all these other parts. And that's why a game like Mario 64 made such a brilliant splash, because it's like, you have 2 mechanics, jump and punch. That's mixed together with obviously other things. But that's the base thing in the game. You run through and you do that. And like, it's so simple. And that's kind of what Nintendo are all about, isn't it? That's why it's so accessible for so many people. And that's why like Nintendo are responsible.
Nintendo's also not without its complexities. I think a huge number of people don't actually realise how much essentially maths and calculation and equations and background actually go into something like Pokemon. There is so much background information going on, so much random numbers and random data going on, that the whole thing about people playing it competitively these days is so much about like number crunching, figuring out what exactly you need to survive certain things, and this and the other. Yes, back in then it wasn't so common, and like it flourished in that competitive scene. But I don't think Nintendo, or Game Freak at least, have ever tried to reinvent the game too much. They've tried to change it and alter it in ways to try and improve it, like Generation 2 made massive improvements and removed a load of the bugs that were in Generation 1 that literally broke the game. Despite how good and how much credit has to be given to the first generation of Red, Blue and Yellow, and Green if you live in Japan, there's not really, like, you can't then ignore the faults that were later improved on. They then added uniqueness and differences, so that they had the addition of the natures and the abilities. Then in Generation 4 they added the physical special split, so that individual moves were decided as physical or special rather than as by typing. And for me, Generation 4 is my favourite. I don't know what it was, I think that's somewhere around like 2003 or something like that.
Yeah, because it's red and blue and yellow.
Gold, silver and crystal.
Yep.
Ruby, sapphire and emerald.
I think my favourite is also crystal, but yeah.
And then I would rate Gen 2 very highly as well. And then it is
Diamond and
Pearl and Platinum.
To be fair, I did love Pearl and Platinum.
Platinum is generally regarded, I think, across a lot of people as like one of the best in the series, full stop.
Yeah.
That was the game where I remember knowing that people were sort of like, because I loved Pokemon when I was growing up, and people sort of like you grow up and you play like PS2 games, like more grown-up games, so to speak.
For kids.
So people like were saying, "Oh, Pokemon's not very good," and then I played Pokemon. Like, so what was it? What ones before that? Sapphire and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ruby, I didn't like those ones.
Oh, really? I loved Ruby.
7.8 out of 10. Too much, was it?
I can't remember. I played Ruby, I think. I can't remember much of it. I think I completed it as well, thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
yes. But yeah, I think...
I just wanted to see how long we can stay quiet for before he tries to... I was just hoping he was going to do it for ages. We're talking about that Hoenn region and like Ruby and Sapphire and like Pokemon.
Oh yeah, and I went and played Platinum because we've got on DS in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Was it the first one that came on DS or something?
No, it'd be the second one because it's Diamond and Pearl came out, and then Platinum was like the third edition, like Emerald was the third edition to...
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
I remember playing that and thinking, like, I don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. Like, this is still great. I mean, people are going to come out on DS, that's it. I can't remember who it was, but someone I knew was dissing it because the DS one, and I guess oh, shit, because it's on DS or something. I can't remember what their reasoning was. But I remember just playing it and thinking, you're a fucking knobhead, man. This is sick. This is still sick. This is great.
Yeah, I remember
and it's
that.
evolved. And it evolved in the perfect, and like I said, it's very concise.
Yeah.
It evolved in the perfect ways for it to be still interesting.
A few games can release a game every 2 years, and still a few games can release a game every 2 years, and it be still getting the amount of ground it is without it changing that much because the formula is pretty much spot on. Yeah. It's just the tweaking and adding of it.
That's one thing that Nintendo I think do very well. Is what they've survived on their first party IPs.
Yeah,
because they have nailed the formula for those IPs, and they know people love those games, and they can make small iterations and small changes to try and think, let's try out some small new thing, and then see where it goes, but still follow the same sort of format.
What's best for kids and for, let's call them as a joke, I want to clarify, normies, like where like people who just don't understand games, like me, basically, I'm a casual now, but the thing is, with Mario, like everyone, my mum knows who Mario is and Pikachu is, and then some of the Nintendo characters they could vaguely get. Like there's a few more of them, you know. But things like that people just generally know some Nintendo characters. But if you show the same people who barely know Nintendo characters, you show them any of the big ones from like Sony or Microsoft, like there wouldn't be a chance, like comparatively.
Maybe Master Chief.
I was thinking maybe Master Chief.
That's the only one I can think of. I don't think I'd have to guess the name. If I showed my mum a picture of Master Chief, I said, have you seen that before? She'd probably say, yeah, that's as far as it goes, really.
I think my mum would say Halo.
That's Halo, isn't it?
Yeah, my mum saw the big poster I had in my room for ages, so she'd say Halo, and that would be, yeah, you're right, but
my mum might know, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one of the things in terms of the talking about Gen 4 very quickly to final point on that is that even today the format of competitive Pokemon still follows that. There's no real significant changes to the way that all of this, as I said, all this background information that is involved in how the battles actually go down. None of it has changed significantly. There's been tweaks to certain moves, slight changes. Obviously, there's additions with each new generation, but it's still just, okay, there's the physical special split, there's the natures, there's the abilities, and then there's all the stats and things and everything going on. And there's IVs and EVs, which have been there from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Which were hidden and still relatively, they're less hidden now.
Yeah.
One thing that Nintendo's done very well, or Game Freak has done very well with that series, is that since Generation 4, they thought, right, we've nailed how we want all the stats and everything like that to work, and now they just made the iterations and improvements and changes to other things in the game, like items and stuff, to make that competitiveness much more accessible.
Just like you Smash.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boom! Segway! Smash Bros. Let's just clarify though, I didn't play the N64 one that much when I was that sort of age. When it came out. I did like once or twice. I only really played Smash properly with Melee. Like, and I think when I played it on the N64, I didn't even realise what it was until after I played Melee. So, and I went back and played the N64 one after we got the Wii U one. So, yeah, is it?
Yeah, it was very good.
Is it time, Joshua?
Somewhere around there. Goes off somewhere-ish.
If you want to head up, me and Rhys can keep on chitter-chatting, going along the...
I'll see the end of this like a little bit of skit and then I can really pop off.
Skit. Let's do a skit, bro. Let's do a skit. I don't know. It's like rap songs, isn't it? I just know mainly the Eminem and Tech Nine ones. Or Hobson does songs, I guess.
God, don't reenact any.
I don't know any of the... I don't know any of the skits. I could do like Eminem songs. Let's do it! No, I'm not going to do that on podcasting. Hopefully ever.
Whatever.
Let's just not and say we did.
Exactly.
One day. I'm not going to do that. But I was talking about with Smash, it's just like, I played the N64 one, and I could talk about this because Melee, we kind of said like GameCube is still pretty nostalgic because it came out, was it 2001?
2003? 2001, yeah. 2001. It was November 2001 or something.
No, because that was PS...
PS.
I'm pretty sure the GameCube came out before the DSs.
It was 2002. It was 2001 or 2002, I don't know.
Yeah, it's around that sort of region anyway. But that's, about 15 plus years ago. So... Is that, well, we're like 24, 25 here, so it's kind of, it is pretty nostalgic. It's quite a long time still, 50 years. Right, yeah. Still a long ass time. I feel
like anyone who played those games, no matter what age they were, if they were older, if they were our age now, when they first played those games, I would feel like, given gaming was still a new thing at that time, even though they were our age, I feel like they feel nostalgic about it as well.
Well, yeah, the golden age of gaming, I think, is between the N64 Dreamcast sort of days up to, basically the PS2 GameCube. Even though I think that the PS3 and onward, they haven't got some absolutely phenomenal games, but I think the general consensus from people is that was when there's the most original games that were the most different, it was the most groundbreaking, and a lot of these things that were not...
Well, for us, in terms of, if you're looking at stuff like 3D things, Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, I believe, was one of the things that practically gave birth to the 3D... or pseudo free roam sort of exploration.
That was Mario 64.
What was it?
Yeah, Mario 64 was first, and then Zelda, Mario 64 was like, look, what we can do is wow, this is cool, these levels are so big. Then Zelda was like, here you fucking go. I was like, Jesus.
Mario 64 was called Mario 64 because it was 64-bit.
Yeah, that's what the N64 was called, the N64.
64-bit processing in a 3D environment. It's the best thing ever. I've seen people online and videos and stuff talk about I've never experienced this because I've played 3D games before playing that game.
Same.
But when they had only played 2D games at that point, and then they open it, and on the home screen it's just Mario's head rendered, and then 3D, and it moves depending on where your cursor is.
Yeah.
And them just being absolutely astonished. It's that's the first time I've ever seen that before.
Yeah.
That would be a very cool experience.
Well, something... Sorry, it's like something people... we obviously miss that sort of thing, but there's a lot of kids nowadays that miss a lot of things we got. As in, I remember, playing games at PS1, PS2, but the first actual realistic face. That's not as much of a big leap, but when you got to certain games where it's that actually proper looks like a person. Like Halo, that sort of thing. Not full on, but the difference there compared to 64-bit,
I remember,
PS1.
I remember Xbox, the original Xbox. Yeah, original Xbox. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory on the original Xbox. One, best cell game ever made. Ever. Actually, maybe saying, actually, no, it's not. Metal Gear Solid 2 is, sorry.
Immediate backtrack.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 2 is the best stealth game ever released. I know it's up for debate.
I'm gonna basically edit this so it makes it sound like you're just constantly saying Splinter Cell instead of Metal Gear Solid now.
But no, Splinter Cell, that is on the original Xbox, and that looked, the first time I saw that, I was absolutely astonished by the graphics. I was like, what the hell is this?
See, I only played that game
That's
afterwards.
the first game I think I ever saw on the original Xbox, and that's the first thing I ever saw on an Xbox, and I was just thinking, like, what is this console? And look at the rest of the games on there, and they are good on it, the graphics are good at the time, but nothing in comparison to fucking... The Chaos Theory could have come out early 360.
Yeah.
It's insane. It still looks good today. You play it, it still looks pretty damn decent. It's nuts.
I'm going to have to pop off. So I'll say my last piece, which is rolling back to it doesn't need to be like a super good graphics, it just needs to be a nice enclosed experience that feels complete. Probably one of my favourite games ever, like not even just racing games, but in games, definitely in my top 3 games ever, for just the feel of the game and how much I enjoyed it. Crash Team Racing.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
And also then in the same kind of vein of things of just how good it was in an enclosed experience, it added the humour, it added a bit of seriousness, it didn't try too hard at anything, relied on its simple mechanics but made interesting levels out of it, was Rayman The Great Escape.
Yes.
So
All the robot
I
pirates.
love
That's the
both.
first Rayman game I played. to be honest with
King!
I played Rayman 1 before because my parents got me
Teasies.
my parents got me a math one where you play the first Rayman game but you answer math questions and you have to like go through certain tunnels which were certain things.
That's very
Josh.
depressing.
Okay,
Yeah, it
Thank you
was.
for having me. I'm popping off. So, continue our nice conversation.
Slater
I'm sure
boy.
I probably agree with most of the things you say. So,
Yeah, we're totally not going to dish you, Josh.
Dish.
Oh my god, I'm so glad Josh is gone. Oh, yes. Now the podcast can really start. Now, if you're tuning in, guys, it's because me and Rhys have been talking to Josh for ages, and we're actually now, he's finally gone, so cut him out. So this way we're actually going to start the podcast.
Probably got his ear to the door right now.
He's gone. He's gone. And talking about Splinter Cell, I didn't actually even have an original Xbox. Like until I played Xbox 360 games and I played Xbox games with you and my brother Rob, but like who's also been in the podcast. Ooh.
I played the original Xbox before I moved to England, and the only game I saw, like I said, was the original Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. It's also the first time I ever saw an online game, and the online for that was fucking amazing. It was literally insane, right? So it's like I think it was a 3v3, and one team plays spies. And you have no weapons, but you have lots of cool tools, and it's like normal Splinter Cell, right? And you're like dressed in black. And then you've got the other team, which plays mercenaries. And the mercenaries is literally a first-person shooter. And you've got like, particularly like visors you can pull down that lets you see like thermal and all sorts of stuff like that, and electric pulses and whatever. And they have to protect a point. It's like a thing that spies have to hack or something. They have to hack these multiple points. And it was fucking awesome because that game utilised the lighting system so much because the lighting was so good. It's why the game looks so fucking good and it still looks good now. It's because it was very focused on if you're in the dark or how much you're in the dark, and that's correlates to how visible you are, and then also how much noise you make. You even have like a little bar at the bottom next to your health, and one of them's it's 2 bars. One of them is how far along you are in light, how illuminated you are, and the other one is sound. How much sound you're making, depending on everything you're doing, like every single movement you make, including every single footstep. But not only that, but on that meter, it's got another thing which shows you the sound of the environment. So basically, anything underneath that part on the thing,
The wind
which moves
blowing.
all the time,
Wind blowing or like the trees
Yeah.
making noise or something.
is literally always moving. If there's like any noise happening at all, it's always moving. As long as you're underneath that, you're covered by the environment. So it's really cool. There's like there's a level where you're on a ship, and obviously you're in a ship, so it's like fairly
Creaking
loud
and stuff.
you can kind of sneak around when you're on the deck like decently well because of it. Oh, it's just so good.
How many people was that?
Well, online,
Yeah.
it's only 3v3, I think, but it's early days.
So was it killing each other, sorry, or was it killing targets?
So there's mercenaries versus spies. Spies had to hack, and the mercenaries had to defend the hack points.
By killing, they kill each other then?
Yeah, the mercenaries would have to kill the spies, but the spies could choke out and kill the things. And what's cool about it is it had proximity voice, and the only way you could talk to other people was through proximity. And if you wanted to talk to your teammate, you could talk in the game, and the game chat was proximity. So if we were spies and we were like on a pipe in a warehouse up along the ceiling, and there was another player underneath us as a mercenary looking around in the dark, trying to find spies who are hiding in the shadows or creeping behind stuff, we would be talking to each other. But if we were too close to him, or he came just right underneath us, he comes into the proximity range and he'd hear us, and it'd be quiet because we're far away, and as he comes closer and closer, it will get louder and louder. So you could talk to your teammates, but you had to literally act like you were literally there and sneaking around. It was so good. And what's even better about that is if you was a completely silent lone wolf and you drop down like behind a mercenary who's like looking away or something, you could drop down and then choke him out. And because there's a choking animation, you can say something to him before he dies. So you just like be walking around as a mercenary and suddenly you just get choked out and the guy's like, fucking die, bitch. Fall on the floor and die. Oh, it was so good. So fucking good.
I think I know of any games that have got proximity.
It was just so... It's funny, I would say it's innovative, but like, I mean, I know online games existed before Chaos Theory Online, but that's the first online game I ever saw. So for me, I came in to the innovation train pretty high up.
Mine was Halo. Halo, I think 2, because Halo 1, am I right in thinking you couldn't do that online? Or could you?
I don't think you could. I might
I think you
be
can do
butchering that information, but
no.
I don't think you could. I think it's in the second one. I know you can play like an online style thing on the first one. You can play LAN,
Yeah.
I think.
I think that...
Almost certain you... I know you can play split screen,
Yeah.
that's for sure, so I'm almost certain you play LAN.
Yeah, because I remember them doing like
I
big
don't think
tournaments and
it
stuff
had
about
online
it.
or servers or anything like that, I don't think. But
I might have to look that up now, otherwise we're going to look very foolish talking about nostalgia, remembering things wrong, because the human memory is not perfect.
That's actually the game, Halo 1's the game I bought the Xbox for. I saw Chaos Theory and I really wanted it, but I wasn't sure what other games there were. And then I moved here and the kid across the street went into his house and he was playing Halo, and I was like, I need this, like, basically as soon as possible. So
Yeah, that game like made me, because I played it with like Rob, Halo 1 and Halo 2, and a few other people, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I got an Xbox 360 and I was like, I can play them all. So I got an Xbox 360, and one of the first things I did after buying Halo 3 was I bought Halo 1 and 2. So I just played all the Halo games.
the Halo 1 remaster.
Yeah, and I had that Combat Evolved, remaster, anniversary, whatever, and you can press the button.
I press the button. I love that.
That's such a good
I wish
idea.
all the remakes they're doing nowadays would do that.
Yeah.
I know it's not as easy because I think it's using the same engine.
I think you can.
It's got to be, right?
Am I right in thinking you can do it in Crash?
Ooh, I don't know. I think you might be able to, actually. Now you mention it.
I think... Oh,
you can.
brilliant.
You can. I'm so sure you can.
Yeah?
I think. Well, that's interesting. I'm pretty sure you can. You looking it up?
Oh, I'm trying to, yeah, but it's quite a weird thing to Google. Does Crash... The Portasque Nintendo Switch continues to get more juiciness. Oh, it's just... Toggle original graphics in Crash Bandicoot, ?
The Switch getting crashed.
Does the Insane trilogy have the option to swap between them? Nope.
Oh.
They didn't have the source code in the original game, so it won't. Halo games 1 and 2 have that.
To be fair,
Nope.
I did actually play the Halo anniversary not that long ago. It was like 4 months ago. It's just been for a short
Yeah, I think it's
while.
the Master Chief collection, isn't it? Like all of them. Like, you can do it with all 3 of them.
Master Chief Collection's on the Xbox One, sorry.
Yeah, no, but like...
And apparently it's absolute trash.
How can it be trash? Surely it's just the same game
I
remastered.
can't remember. It had like loads of crashing problems, and the online is fucked. Like the online is obviously what everyone's super excited for because it's like classic Halo Online.
Yeah.
But they fucked it, and I can't remember how. I think it was just technically destroyed.
Me
Basically, just
and-
a mess. of a game.
Me and you and Kieran and Comrade on Xbox 360 and Blue Black Kakashi. We played Halo with him a lot.
Mm.
We were
Those
younger.
are the glory days of gaming in my life.
Yeah, we played like I was talking to Megan about it, and she didn't quite understand. I was like, no, we've played like I think at one point with me we had there's social games and online games, and we were both over 1,000 in both of them, and then our custom games were almost 1,000. I think that was the amount.
The thing is, I look at that now. I remember looking back at it when ages after we stopped playing Halo. I think it was like maybe like college or maybe even after college or something. I don't know, but it must have been after college actually because I think Halo Reach stuff's coming out and whatever. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we looked at how long we played for, and we figured it wasn't actually as much as time as we thought. Because you consider the length of games in Halo 3, given I've played Halo 3 quite a decent amount recently because of that Halo 3 thing on PC. They are really short. Like, games are fucking short.
Really, I thought they were like
To
5
know-
10 minutes long.
I'm pretty sure most of them go on for like 5. Yeah, well, to be fair, there are. I think that's about right. Somewhere between 5 and 10 minutes. But the thing is, I think the limit is always 10 minutes, but you ever get to the limit. Someone always wins, so it's 10 minutes maximum per game. And there's a amount of time in between games.
Yeah, but Halo 3, when you do those big rounds, like you do the big person, like what was it? Is it 16 people or 12 or something? Or 8? What was it? I can't remember the amounts. On Xbox 360, when you do the biggest maps.
Yeah.
And you do like loads of people. The Snowblind one or whatever, but it wasn't Snowblind, it's a different one. It's not Valhalla, but that's a great one. That's a Halo 3 classic. But anyway, we're talking about Halo 3 quite a lot. Let's go back. Let's wind it back. Well, Halo 1's great, but let's... what about games a little bit earlier than that? Like, did you ever play many SNES or N64 or NES games?
First console I ever got was a PS1. So, nope. And I only got a Game Boy Color. That was the next thing.
Oh, so you got a Game Boy Color afterwards? I got a Game Boy Color first. I got a Game Boy Color when I was 4 years old. I remember getting that with 2 black and white Pokemon. Like, I got Pokemon Red and Super Mario Land. So...
No, I got my PS1 when I was 4.
I got my PS1 when I was 6 or 7, I think it was. Then my Game Boy Color before that.
It's interesting. It sounds really stupid, but I'm so obsessed with gaming. It's like, I think about that day, that Christmas day, when I was 4. So whatever that was. I don't fucking know.
It was 20 years ago.
1998.
Yeah.
December 25th, 1998. My entire life changed. And it sounds really stupid, but it actually did. Like, it's been a part of my lifestyle ever since. Like, a massive part of my lifestyle. As lame as that sounds, it is true.
Well, yeah,
it was like a fateful day.
Well, it's one thing that I've been thinking about, which I'm not going to get too deep into because we're talking about gaming, but like, how a lot of things that one enjoys, you don't choose to like them. You just do. Yeah. They play certain games, you're like, this is amazing. And then when you enjoy it, your then brain rationalises. It goes, you enjoy it because of blank. You enjoy it because of that. And then when some people disagree, that's when some people get in heated discussions because, like, how can you not enjoy this thing? It's like, really, you just enjoy it and your brain's kind of rationalising why you enjoy it. Like, it's a weird thing. Yeah. Or one could even argue that your subconscious is understanding why you like it quicker, maybe. But it's weird, though, because you don't choose what you like. You choose what you do, to a degree, but you don't choose what you like. So, like, I like gaming because my parents introduced me to it when I was younger, and I didn't have any siblings that lived with me.
That's what you sort of force yourself to like certain things, but
you can try a hard.
It's one of the things, actually. I'd say if you force yourself to like something, what that really means is it was something that you were always capable of liking. You always could have liked it. It's just there was something stopping you. For instance, Dark Souls. When I got first Dark Souls game, I bought that on a whim. I never heard of it. I literally bought it in Showing Video, in like the local like shop that sells games. Who I know the guy behind the counter. I was talking to him a bit, and he was like, "You know, this game's really hard."
It's a Gary's brother.
Yeah, Dan. And he was like, "You know, this game's really hard." I was like, "Nope." I was like, I just thought it looked cool when it was in like a special edition box, and I was like, I just thought it looked cool, and I like fantasy games. And it says it looks hard, so it says it's hard in the box, so I thought it'd be interesting. He was like, "Yeah, it's like the hardest game I've ever made." And I was like, "Fuck off!" Like, maybe play fucking Battletoads, like
that is proper nostalgia.
Or Contra. You ever play Contra?
Yeah, that game is hard as fuck.
Brutal.
Literally, like, I remember playing that game in like the arcade before, and like abroad, like you put in like 50 cents for a life. This is back in the good old days before fucking Brexit. No. I'm joking, obviously I don't. But well, with back then, I remember going, obviously not just doing it abroad. I had like one of those plug-in game TV things where you get like the old school gun. It plays like Duck Hunt and like the original Pac-Man and like that sort of shit. And there's like 20 games on there, and they're really old school. And I remember getting Contra when I was like 8 or something, maybe 10. And I remember playing it, and I was like, literally, you go for about 5 seconds, you die. You go, wait, what? And then you go, okay, let's try again. And then you just do like, you do a bit better. And I remember doing like, getting partway through the level and always dying. And I'm like, this game's impossible. I'm just not going to play it.
I mean, it might be amazing. I'm not actually sure where people stand on Contra. I don't know if it's just really popular because it's so hard or because it was actually good. But that's precisely my point. I bought Dark Souls and I started playing it. And I was like, "Ooh, I like this. This is quite cool. I like the atmosphere." And then I got stuck, like, straight away. And I got really stuck. I was like, what? I was watching YouTube videos, people doing it. I was so desperate. I was like, I don't understand how people can do this. And I was fighting the first boss in the fucking training area. I was like, I don't understand, it's impossible. And I watched people do it. I was like, okay, just get an idea how to play it a little bit more, like the play style. I was like, right, okay. So I played a little bit more. And after a while, I beat it. And I was like, right. And it took me a long time. So I kept kind of sort of putting it off because I wasn't really enjoying it. I was stuck on the same fucking boss. Literally, you spawn at the bonfire and walk up some stairs right in front of you, open a door and you're the boss. So that was my game, like, basically. I spent like fucking 40 quid. And then I got stuck on the next area. I went to the wrong area after the first area because I never knew what I was doing. And I was like, what? And I was stuck on that bit for so long, I was convinced it was impossible. And I was just like, just fuck it. So I stopped playing it. And I went back to it again. I was like determined. I was like, I actually really like this game. And I found out I went the wrong way. I was like, okay. And bear in mind, I hadn't played it for like 6 months at this point. And I was like, okay, I'll go the right way. Here we go. And it took me a while, but I got to the boss in that area. I was like, okay, I'm actually really enjoying this. And I got stuck on that boss more than I don't think I've been stuck on something that's like as bad as that in my life. Other than maybe Sephiroth fight from fucking
Final Fantasy. Oh, Kingdom Hearts. Oh, yeah. With a really long cinematic beforehand.
But who's he?
The boss.
That's it, the boss, yeah. I got fucking stuck on that shit and I didn't play it again for like another maybe 6 months to a year. And I finally went back and played it and I beat the boss without too much problem. And then I just kept playing. I did get stuck a lot again, but I kept playing. And then by the time I got sort of used to it, I was like, oh, this is literally my favourite game I've ever played in my entire life. It's like I literally put it off because there was something there that was blocking me. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I was going to love this game. It was going to be my favourite game of all time.
Yeah.
But there was something blocking me. So that's why I try to force myself to play lots of games.
Through
That's why I have so many fucking games. Because even a lot of the time I see a game on Steam and I'm like, I like the idea of that game so much. Even if it sounds like nothing I like, nothing that I would usually play. I like the idea so much as a creative aspect.
Yeah.
That I want to experience it. So I buy it and I play it. And lots of the time I'm like, that was really cool. And I'm never going to play it again.
Yeah. I've had that. Well,
a lot of the time you have to push through and you end up finding a game you love.
Well, the way you're like that with games, I've just realised, is both of us feel... The way I feel about games is similar to the way you feel about movies. And the way you feel about movies is the kind of similar way I feel... Don't say the same thing again, but... The way you feel about games, you love games. I quite like movies. I quite like games, love movies, and it is that thing of like I just watch so many. Like if a movie sounds alright, I don't look at the reviews as much. Sometimes you look at reviews, it's atrocious. You're like, what? If everyone is saying that is shit, it's highly unlikely I'm the only one who's going to enjoy it. But with the old days,
if you're really into something like that you can watch something and it not be good, or technically not be that good, and really really like it.
Oh yeah,
for other particular reasons, like what's the term? Like when something's more than the sum of its parts.
What, synergy?
It's basically like Dark Souls is a good example because Dark Souls is a good example of everything. Apparently, Dark Souls is like Dark Souls 1. Is actually, if you played it now, I don't think you ever played Dark Souls 1, have you?
No, I did. I played Dark Souls 1. I got to the first boss in the castle area. It's like a big dragony thing that takes up like half the area.
I suppose, yeah, I guess so. It's not really a dragon at all, but
what? But is that
it's like a giant fucking demon thing? It's got wings, like a dragon wings.
Yeah. And you have to fight through a few skeletons and go up a few stairs.
Boss,
yeah. I beat that boss without too much trouble, but I played the game way after you ever played it, like when I was a lot older. And age is a big thing with these sort of games, which I want to link back to something as well. Is the boss? I beat that. And it was difficult, and I was like, yeah, it's really challenging, and obviously, but I was pre-warned by you, and I think that was around the time like Dark Souls 3 was out or something, and I was just like, I hadn't played these games, but I was, or maybe Dark Souls 2 or something, but I played the game, and I was like, I appreciate it, I think it's really good, but it's just, I don't really fancy it at the moment, and then it got on where I got busier and busier doing things like this, and then don't really have time to...
If you play Dark Souls 1 now, you'd play it, particularly if you like somehow, like, if you ended up being decent and you actually got through, like, I don't know, 5-6 hours or something, would be enough. You play it and you'd be like, you'd understand why it's good, and you may really love it, but I know no matter what, even if you hated it or liked it or thought it was okay, or thought it was the best game you ever played in your life, you know the things are wrong with it. Like, there's a lot of things wrong with Dark Souls 1. Like, it is a complete and utter flawed masterpiece. But it doesn't matter because the sum of it equals more than the sum of its parts. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. That's what I feel about Stars Episode 3, to be honest with you. But, with little games like that, I tell you what, the game that I got the most stuck on to recent memory, that I don't, there's probably other games I got stuck on more, but it's pretty one that I got stuck on quite a lot. Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc, but not near the start or anything, like the second to last level. When
you say recently?
No. Like, I mean, the most recent thing I can remember, like, I don't think this is the hardest time I've ever been stuck, but it's the only thing I can really remember at the moment.
Well, you have to think back as far as fucking Rayman when you're stuck on a game really bad.
Well, like proper actually, like oh wait, no. The last time I was stuck properly on a game really bad was Crash Bandicoot recently, the HD remake, on the first level, the first bridge level on the remake. Like that was the last time. I don't play games that much anymore because I don't have as much time for it. But like, I played that for like 2 nights. No, one night was that one level.
You can walk on the rope.
Yeah, I know you can do that, but it's very awkward. You can slip off real easy.
It is awkward, but it's so much easier than not doing it.
Yeah, but I never did that because I'm a cheater. I did the game how it's meant to be played. And
I
did the game how it's meant to be played, and I threw a fucking tantrum about it.
It's called...
I threw a tantrum about it, and I was like really fucking pissed off, and I was really annoyed. Well, did it take me 2 nights? I can't. It was either the same night or 2 nights, but it took me so many attempts. I lost all my lives. I was on like 99 lives. I lost them all, and then I had game over. Like I don't know how many times. Like I do not know. I literally can start the game and go run forward, die. Okay, start the game, run forward, jump, run forward, jump, run forward, jump, die. And like, but I knew my way to like 3/4 to the end. But I knew the whole course so well. It's just like you have to get that perfect sort of rhythm going.
I love that kind of shit. Oh,
you get into the flow state, and you really get into it. You're like, okay, and you just go for it. Just jump at this bit.
That's what people love speed running for.
Yeah, that's why I've got.
Why I love like Mirror's Edge and stuff like that. Even though they aren't necessarily amazing games, I just love the feeling so much. The momentum and the running and the jumping and.
That's what I feel with Mario Sunshine. That's what Mario Sunshine is one of my favourite games. You like to run forward, you spray like Mario game, but you can't sprint. What do they do? The only game you can full on go fast. 2 things you can do. You can spray water on the floor, dive forward, and literally just full on slide really fast anywhere you go. Like, you don't even have to be on much water anymore. You can just zoom about. Or you get the rocket one. Not the rocket one, the turbo one. Just everywhere. And it's like, I love the fluidity of Mario Sunshine. Like, Mario 64 is a phenomenal game. But Mario Sunshine is one of my favourite games. It's probably that is, I think, my favourite game ever.
Mario 64?
No, Mario Sunshine.
Alright.
Like, I'm not saying it's necessarily the best game. I know it's kind of flawed in some ways, but I just thought Super Smash Bros. Melee is also my favourite game ever, but they're both for different reasons. I enjoy Mario Sunshine the most when I'm by myself, but I enjoyed Smash the most when I'm playing with you guys all, yeah? But I don't know which I enjoyed more. Like, if I played them both now, I enjoy Smash more, but like, at the time when I played Smash Melee, I didn't play with other people. I was playing by myself. Whereas the Brawl is the one that I played competitive with other humans a lot more. Because Melee, I was like, I could destroy computer players because that's all I play against. But then me and you used to play it a little bit. But then when we started playing it, Brawl came out quite soon after.
Yeah.
So we started. So Brawl, I've never played by myself that much because we even unlocked all the characters together when we. So when you live with me, we did Subspace Emissary. That was not that great. But everyone seems to love it. At all. Really? Yeah.
I fucking hated it.
Yeah, it was upsetting to me. What's the quote? Smash Sunshine. Yeah. I'm going to try to say something else. It's a great game.
Obviously, Dark Souls is my favourite game if I'm going older.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think there's so many. Like Star Wars Battlefront 2, for example. That is just one of the best.
Oh, I think I never really owned that game. I played a decent amount of it, but I never actually owned it myself.
It is so good. It was so much fun. There was no other game like it.
It's true.
Well,
there was.
There was Call of Duty. Well, no, Call of Duty and Battlefront, like people are screaming at me now, were out, and they were obviously like that game, but like an actual sci-fi game that's actually like for its time well made, and there's like it's really cool multiplayer, it's loads of fun. Like me and Kieran used to always play it before Halo, that sort of thing.
Wasn't Knights of the Old Republic out before that though? And that was like an MMO, wasn't it?
Yes, people are going to hate me for this because I'm such a massive Star Wars nerd. I barely played either of the Knights of the Old Republic games.
I've played one of them, and when I say played, I mean someone was playing it. I think it was George, actually, my stepbrother. He was playing it, like, obviously this is well after it came out. Like, I think I'd be playing 360 by this point.
Yeah.
And I played it. I took over basically for like 20 minutes.
I basically did the same.
Experience with it, and it makes me very, very sad because it seemed quite cool, actually.
I basically did the same, and there's just loads of people online going, "Why the fuck have they not made a new one?" Like, literally, open up Legends to all these stories of Darth, Revan, and Bane. Introduce this whole new era of Star Wars that you could probably make films about or whatever the hell you want to do with it, right? And just make a big MMO game. And a lot of people are saying that's what they are doing, and just like keep talking about Star Wars, Benioff Weiss, who make Game of Thrones, they're making a Star Wars saga. So a lot of people are like saying about that. So maybe they'll be if they make a Star Wars saga that's set before all the current Star Wars films, back to when Knights of the Old Republic was set, if there's films about that, then maybe they'll make games about it too.
Hopefully it's not EA doing it.
Yeah, EA have made like, I think
EA won't make a fucking MMO anyway. I fucking hope they don't. Oh my god, can you imagine?
I saw microtransactions City.
Actually, saying that, I mean, like, Ubisoft bought one now, doesn't they? Division. That's an MMO.
Is it? What, Tom Clancy's Division?
Yeah, that's an MMO.
Is it?
Not like it's good or anything, although obviously, apparently now it's actually alright. It was fucking awful when it came out, but they're bringing a second one out for some reason. It's an MMO. It's really weird.
Is it?
For
I didn't know.
AAA companies who seem to just be completely attached to this idea of games as a service. It's really interesting as they've got a game which is by genre defined as a game as a service, and they've actually just released one. I mean, it's not been like really short amount of time.
What do you mean game of service? I don't.
Games as a service are like the idea of releasing a game and they're not releasing another one, just keeping that game and constantly updating it and releasing DLCs and stuff like that. They're doing that, like lots of games.
Yeah.
You don't really see sequels very often anymore. And if you do, there's not as many as there used to be at all. Not even close. You think about all the old games, you know, how many sequels they got. I know they're old. And some of them are running.
Well, Call of Duty.
You think about how many they had for how old they were at the time.
Call of Duty is a good example. Yeah. I mean, they are starting to obviously, they're one of the main things that's still going like that. They do the old formula, but...
Oh yeah, to be fair, Call of Duty is still released all the time. But obviously there's lots of games that do this kind of shit.
Except Nintendo. Well, Nintendo released, like, per console, like one or two of each person, like each character.
Nintendo release anything.
That's true. Maybe the Switch is going to change all that. Yay. Anyway, back to switching all back. What's the best old, like really fucking old game? I think Pac-Man is one of the best, but Tetris, if we get like really fucking old. Like I love
I don't
Tetris.
know, the really old game for me that I have any connection to is a console I've owned. So the oldest I can go is PS1.
But you not ever like you never played any of the other old school games? Like
I have, but not like I never owned them, so I never actually had lots of time with them.
I'm just curious if like your old school nostalgia favourites.
One of my favourite games of all time isn't that old.
Galaga's great.
But it is Metal Gear Solid 2. It's PS2. Absolutely amazing, even though it was really controversial. It's the first Metal Gear Solid game I ever played. And it's funny because when I was playing at the time, I had no idea what the fuck's going on in the story. Right? I was very confused. I was like, what is going on? And they mentioned the Metal Gear Solid 1 a decent amount, and I was like, okay, right. I didn't realise the story was going to be so intense in this game. And then now I know more about all the stories, and I played the first one, and I played pretty much all of them. It's like, didn't really make a difference, really. Like, the story is like absolutely fucked. Like, you go onto the Metal Gear Solid like wiki, and it's like something you've never seen in your entire life. It's just strewn information everywhere. There's just so much conflicting information as well across all the games. And there's like little parts mentioning there's conflicting things here, and it's like, if this is true, then this is true, and there's like a whole other article about it. It's like, what the fuck? It's so convoluted. I don't think Hideo Kojima even knows what the fuck's going on. Like, he fucking made the games. Like, he literally, like, it's insane. And that's what I loved about it, though. And I remember not knowing what happened in the first game, and just hearing them talk about it, and things mentioned, and groups and people I should know about that I don't know, and just sort of having to fill in the blanks. And that made the experience really fucking memorable. Yeah. That's why I love Dark Souls. Because it's the same thing, but not doing that.
They just don't tell you anything.
Yeah. But yeah, it leads me to fill in the blanks. And that's why it was fucking sick. And I play it now, and even if I play it now, I'll still be fucking filling the blanks, mate. I ain't got a clue what's going on.
You know what was one of the best games ever? Hercules.
Oh, yes.
If anyone's played like the PS1. Disney Hercules on PS1, that game is so good. It's like 2.5D. It's just amazing. It's just so good. It's so enjoyable. You fight the Hydra and it's like really difficult.
No, it wasn't 2.5D. It was 2D.
I thought
no 3D models in it.
I thought all the models in it were 3D.
It's all illustrated. It has like a parallax, like the background moves slower than the foreground, that kind of stuff, but it's all 2D.
I'm certain that there are like items and stuff that are like 2.5D that make them pop out. Like, I'm certain,
yeah.
I'm certain like most of the sprites. That's why it was so groundbreaking.
Some of it's.
Because otherwise it'd be like a NES game. Like, I'll go on like Hercules.
I think that's either right, or they do a clever thing with the illustration to make it look like it's sort of turning. But I think you might actually be right.
Well, let's take a little look. See, even though the people who are in podcast land listening can't see, I can't really tell because I'm trying to see if there's like a specific.
You see moving stuff of it.
Oh, there's those bits where you're running and it's still kind of like 2D, but you're like you can move left and right. And there's bits where you're running.
I don't think Hercules. I think it's only stuff in the environment that's 3D. You know,
the horse dude. I remember him.
I think it's stuff in the environment is 3D, or a lot of it is.
Yeah, I think,
and not all of it is. And I think Hercules and all the characters are GG.
You're right.
Sure.
You're right. I'm looking at the screenshots now. I was dead wrong. I was remembering it really weirdly. Oh, it's
a really short game, you know.
Because the Hydras as well, like the Hydra like being in the background, that was all 3D and stuff.
I played it on a PlayStation emulator about 3 years ago or something.
Oh, really?
I think we were living in the old house.
Oh, sweet.
And it is very short. But I also played a couple of PS and PS1 that I was really excited to play, and they were all really short. You don't think about it at the time. Like, tell you what was the shortest game of them all. I couldn't believe it, and I still can't believe it now. It makes no sense in my head. As long as I can remember the time right, I completed, the Rugrats game.
Yeah.
In Search for a Reptile.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I completed it in like 2 hours. Or something like that. 2 hours, 2.5 hours maximum.
Wow.
It was so short.
That game was amazing, though.
Unless I just totally missed something. I'm almost certain I did every level.
Maybe there was just more to do. Maybe there's like loads of side missions or something.
No idea.
But I remember that game being amazing, where you walk through the mirror and you're walking on the ceiling. That was freaky.
Yeah, that was so good.
That was awesome. I love
Very
that.
memorable game.
Yeah, and you're like Chucky and you're running for the goose and stuff, aren't you?
Pretty creepy, yeah. You're fine.
Yeah, I remember it
The
being
music
like...
and everything, the animations and stuff is a bit fucking creepy.
Yeah, it was like uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There's a lot of games like that. Abe's Odyssey was like that.
Yeah.
Abe's Odyssey, you play it, like, I'm just really uncomfortable. I didn't really like playing it. I was just like, this is just making me uncomfortable.
It's weird, isn't it? I think it's the art style. The remakes don't really have the same effect. Unless it's just like a thing where it's like, we've now experienced lots of things in the game, so these kind of things don't
maybe
make us feel weird, but it is very fucking weird.
With the Uncanny Valley, not Uncanny Valley, that's a completely wrong thing. I didn't even know why I said that. I was thinking something else. Completely wipe that from the script. No, what I was thinking is the... I don't know what I think about is that Uncanny Valley. Oh man, that's really annoying. You know, when you just your brain goes, "Hey, what was that?" It's like, what was I thinking about? Gone forever. See ya. Off you go.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. The thought train. Off it goes. No, I was thinking of like some of the PS1 games, like it's obviously the platformers. I think Josh mentioned earlier, Croc, Legend of the Gobbos, and like that sort of genre of games. But
Tekken.
Yeah, they were like the fighting games like that.
Stand, sorry.
You just hit the mic stand.
I keep hitting it. Sorry.
I apologise to people listening who are going to hear your insolence. Sorry. You have to be. I can't remember many PS1 games thinking about it.
Yeah, I always forget them.
I remember like Gex.
Always PS1, and to be fair, it's starting to happen to PS2, unfortunately.
Yeah.
PS1's one of those consoles where people will be like, name some games. I don't fucking know.
Wipeout, Gex, Croc, Crash, Spyro.
Someone's like Gex. I'm like, oh, fucking yes! I just remember all these amazing games, but I don't remember them until someone mentions them.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
It's so long ago.
It feels like for us. Imagine what we used to feel like for other people. Imagine being alive before video games. Like there are people who are alive who like. This is such a millennial thing to say. Who remember like Pong being released.
That's fucked up.
That is like.
It makes me uncomfortable.
What would you be into, Rhys?
When Pong came out.
What would you be into?
I don't know when Pong came out. I guess it was 60s.
I think it's a bit earlier than that, but let's find out.
I'm pretty sure it was originally made in the military, wasn't it, or something?
Yeah. Wow.
What?
Wow.
1960.
No.
What?
1972.
Oh.
It's pretty recent. Like that's really recent. Like my brothers were. I think my brother Chris is born that year.
Yeah.
Pac-Man 1980. Space Invaders 1970. To be honest,
to be fair, my mum, obviously before, she saw me play games from like growing up. I remember having talking to her about games when I was like 10ish kind of age.
Yeah.
And her video games to her were like Pac-Man and the original Mario. Like that was video games. And obviously I was playing like fucking PS2 games whatever at this point. And I was just like, what? Yeah, yes. That's why the kind of way when I have people like I really like video games. Like I just do not my priority you have to invest a lot more time in video games. And I would rather watch several movies, a few series, do this, do that, and little bits and pieces and play one video game for a while, rather than focus a lot more on video games and do that, because I do really like them, but the way I distribute my time, I don't really have time for it, that's okay. But when I was younger, I used to play so much for them, and I've got such a love for them, and I kind of feel the way about them that almost a lot of people feel about, or I don't like it makes me think I don't like the way people think about music in some way, where they go, I just don't like music. They go, I just don't like video games. And it's like, I can see what you're thinking, but to me, it's almost like I don't like any sport. The people who say they like video games are people who are terrible at video games.
Well, I think it's kind of similar with sport, because like I wouldn't say I absolutely love playing any sport apart from badminton and dodgeball. Like I love those two. I like doing outdoorsy things. Like if you and the guy said, like we never do, but if you said, do you want to go in summer? Do you want to go kick a football around somewhere in the field? I'd be like, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Because that's different though, because it's not as adaptable with video games. Because like that's always football. Or it's a handful of things. That's like saying, it's changing the person saying they like video games to saying they don't like Crash Bandicoot as if it represents all video games.
Yeah, well, you could almost do platformer.
It's like there's a fucking video game for everyone. For God's sake.
I think there is as well. I mean, you've got the main core genres, but you've got games that are so randomly specific, which there are reasons why. Like games like Farmville, it's a game. It's not. Well, actually, we've had this discussion before, where you would say it's not actually a game because that was a bad example. I was thinking of more like other mobile games, but yeah, more like Candy Crush, right? That's a game, like so that sort of thing. That how popular and big that is, like because there's a lot of people who are casuals, and it's still a game, like, but it just hasn't got the depth to what you like about other games. But yeah, is there anything else that you'd like to add? We come for a nice rounded at hour and 15, so.
Don't know. I suppose not.
I think it's come to a nice stop. I imagine we're going to pull the plug and then immediately it's going to be like, why the fuck did I mention that?
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be loads of them, but, oh, well.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I didn't want to do too much with that, Josh. It's not really fair, is it? Even though, if you're listening, fuck you. So it's way better without you. I bet it wasn't better without him. We miss you. I mean that you're terrible. I hate you as a guest.
Thank you very much. I'm highly offended.
Good.
And I will cry myself to sleep tonight and tomorrow. Potentially the whole weekend.
Okay. Can you save them for me?
Save what, the tears?
Yeah. Save the tears for me.
Into a vial.
I was thinking a vial, yeah. Like a little test tube thing with a cork in it. Yeah. And I'm thinking it'd be like a necklace you wear around your neck, and just whenever you want to cry, you just cry into your own little tear vial. That's what edgy hipster thing ever. That's what people should do, tear vials.
It is evaporated, isn't it?
I'm not good with that answer to that question. I don't know, maybe. How long will that take? How hot would it be? Depends on country. And if you're walking out at the weather it is now, would it evaporate? I guess eventually. Depends how often you cry.
Yeah, if you're in like this room's quite warm.
But if the cork's in it, how does evaporation work? So it just condense on the inside of the...
Yeah, I suppose so.
So if you had enough in there, eventually it would just be all like sweating the inside.
Yeah, it would like fog up and it missed up. That's a good point, actually. It probably only missed up a certain amount. Depends on the liquids. This is so stupid.
This is too much. None of us know what we're talking about, so let's just
stop here.
Yeah.
Josh for this kind of thing. But.
Definitely. He's going to be... If he's listening now, he's going to be like, oh my god, guys, what the fuck? Sorry to everyone who's listening. Please look up condensation because we don't know.
The next Science and Simple episode. All about condensation and how we were just completely wrong.
I think there is one I might have done. Look through the Science for Simple catalogue. You'll see it later. Anyway, guys, we're going to go now. Thank you very much, Rhys, for coming on.
No problem, bro.
I should have. I probably mentioned in the intro, but I've got such a blocked up nose. That's why it's so bad. But yeah, talk to you guys another time.
Bye.
And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks as always for tuning in, guys. In the coming weeks, I've got quite a lot planned. So just before I get into that, if any of you appreciated the show, please share us on social media to anyone who you think will enjoy it. Not just this episode, but any of the episodes. As I say all the time, I've got a huge back catalogue. I've got quite a big back catalogue. I've got a wide variety of guests, and even though I don't think every person who listens is going to enjoy every episode, I think that every person who's listening will find at least another episode that they enjoy, and they'll probably find a few episodes that other people may enjoy. I've had conversations with photographers, authors, psychologists, CEOs of companies, people suffering with sort of mental and physical illnesses, including Crohn's disease, depression, anxiety, quite a wide berth of people. I've spoken about nature, a lot of things. People are experts in animals, scientists. I've got the mini-series, Science But Simple, that I've got with Josh, who's in this podcast, where we just try and explain scientific things in an easy-to-digest manner. So there's quite a wide amount of things to sort of seek your teeth into. Christ. So, if you enjoy this sort of thing, then please share it with other people. Reviews on iTunes and all those sort of other things are always appreciated, and liking on all the social media channels is really appreciated. But sort of spreading through word of mouth is great because, this is a small indie podcast. I don't have the money to advertise and stuff on loads of other things. So collaborations, promo swaps, and word of mouth is really how I get my name out. So, well, I don't care about my name, just Genuine Chit-Chat, just the podcast name, kind of push that out there. Anyway, coming up in a few weeks, next week is going to be it's the 50th episode, yay! I mean, it's not the 50th release because, part 1 and part 2 of episodes and things, and I've been going for over a year now, almost every week, yeah, the 50th episode, that's a collaboration with the Crazy Train podcast. If you subscribe to them, they're part of the Emotionally 14 banner. The guy, Rob Wade, who basically sorts Emotionally 14, it's basically got a couple of podcasts under that sort of banner. So yeah, it's the Crazy Train podcast. I believe next Friday is when they're going to be releasing the part 1 of our chat, which is the 15th. And then on the 17th, which is Sunday, as I usually release on Sundays, that'll be part 2 of the chat. So when the thing comes out, I'll do a little intro thing to explain it, but it's basically going to be a case of part 2 is going to be on my feed, Genuine Chit Chats, and part 1 is going to be on the Crazy Train feed. So it's trying to cross-pollinate audiences. If you're really into the chat, obviously go check them out. You'd have to subscribe. You just download the episode, give it a listen. If you're not into Rob and Blake, then that's fine. After that is going to be a chat that I have not yet recorded, but I've got all organised and things with an American comedian. Can't go into details who it is, just in case they pull out or anything like that. So that's coming up there. And still in my pocket, I've got two-parters. I've got one with the gentleman from the Church of Satan and one from Beth Crane of We Fix Space Junk. I've got a few other chats upcoming. Looking at my calendar, I've got 4 chats lined up, which I imagine will be about an hour long each, and one of them is a collaboration with another podcaster. Well, a collaboration. He's coming on my show, he has a podcast, he's super interesting, so that's going to be that. I think apart from that, guys, there's not really much else to say. Apart from I appreciate anyone listening to the end. I do apologise for the audio issues we've had in this podcast, or I've had, because it's all my fault. So yeah, that's my bad. That's it really, guys. As I said, like, subscribe and share. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Instagram's generally what I use a bit more of. I post about what's going on generally in my life within reason on there. Food, movie reviews and audio snippets of the show. So, if you've listened this far, thank you very much. And if you're not a subscriber and you've listened this far and you're a bit dubious, I would say just subscribe, and then if any episodes come out that bore you, just delete them. But equally, if you're still a bit unsure, you can follow me on Instagram, at genuine_chit-chat. The links are at the bottom. Every episode of the podcast, if you scroll to the bottom, there should be like a little thing that says Instagram. You should be able to click it and it'll take you there. But Genuine Chit-Chat is quite easy to find on all these sort of places. If you go on there, every week when I have a sort of episode that's just released, I post 2 or 3 times a week usually with an audio snippet of just 30 seconds or so. So there's one of this chat. By the time you're listening to this, there may be one out. I normally post on Instagram sort of Monday, Wednesday, Friday sort of things, new episodes. So with any of the snippets, you can just go on Instagram, check out some of the episodes, see if there's anything you fancy. That's about it then, guys. So, thanks as always for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you listening right to the very end. And I'll talk to you all next week.